This will be a video demonstrating 2B nearsighted astigmatism refractive error, utilizing a teeth thermometer to perform an initial teeth thermometer reading. To both define your type of refractive error as 2B and also to determine your astigmatism axis in degrees. On step 1 of the teeth thermometer reading, the first step is to identify the narrowest thermometer that still contains the central white space. That is a gap separating the two blurs from each other, and this is identified as on the central thermometer in this setting. The one to the left still has no significant central white space, and the one to the right will be a little bit wider. This is while the thermometers are maximally magnified at a vertical position to you. At this point, we're going to be rotating the phone in both directions 10 to 15 degrees, and we notice if we go to the right, the central white space actually narrows, whereas if we go to the left, it's starting to widen, and we want to move in the position that widens or makes the central white space brighter. This is a +6 astigmatism for the purpose of the demonstration, so it's normally you just notice the central white space getting brighter in a particular location, and with your own eyes perception, you'll actually see the blue upper or nasal line actually get darker over a very narrow range around your astigmatism axis as you're getting closer. So now we're rotating in both directions. If we rotate too far, it'll start to narrow, and we move back to where it's at its widest, where a small rotation in either direction will tend to narrow the white space. And this now aligns us along our astigmatism axis, having eliminated all the astigmatism refractive error. And now as we move closer to the phone to change the neutral point of the eye, also eliminating the nearsighted refractive error, we'll get to a point where the lines become at their brightest and widest. And this also eliminates the nearsighted refractive error, and now we're at our neutral position of the eye. Once at our neutral position, we're going to notice that the hash marks are still blurry, but if we can move either outward from the screen, which in this case makes them more blurry, or closer to the screen, and to find that they are getting clearer or in sharper focus, this identifies our refractive error as 2B. And since the spherical axis can also be neutralized by moving a bit closer to the screen. Now we're moving back to our neutral position for astigmatism axis, where the red and blue lines are in perfect focus and at their widest. And we want to measure astigmatism axis to get it in degrees. We do this by scrolling down to the astigmatism target, which if we expand it to make it an easier measurement, we can now place a ruler exactly vertical to us through the center of this astigmatism target. And this allows us to identify that that our axis in degrees for along our astigmatism axis is at 159. Now we're going to scroll back to the teeth thermometers again, and we still need to get a estimate for our spherical axis neutral point. And we can do this by placing a ruler exactly horizontal to us along the center of the phone, rotating the phone vertically until the ruler is exactly vertical to us. This realigns our phone along our spherical axis. And now by simply just moving again towards the phone to neutralize all the nearsighted refractive error along the spherical axis until they're in perfect focus and appear to be at their widest and perfectly focused, this will allow us to perform an estimate from the bony corner of our eye to the screen again to obtain a neutral point estimate for our spherical axis as well, completing our reading.